Welcome to AI for Local Impact, a podcast that explores the role of artificial intelligence in advancing development by highlighting work done through the AI for D program. The Artificial Intelligence for Development program, first established in 2020, is funded by Canada's International Development Research Centre and the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. The program supports responsible AI ecosystems where experts in developing countries can create solutions to pressing development challenges, while also mitigating risks through safe, inclusive, rights-based, and sustainable AI applications and policies. In this episode, we feature the Responsible AI Lab at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana, known as RAIL. The lab is pioneering ways to embed responsibility into AI research and innovation, ensuring that Africa's AI development is ethical, inclusive, and sustainable. My name is Salam Abdullah, a researcher at the Global Center on AI Governance, and your host for this podcast. Joining me today is Professor Jerry John Kponyo, Scientific Director at the Responsible AI Lab. Jerry is the co-founder of the Responsible AI Network Africa and has led major initiatives such as the World Bank-funded KNUST Engineering Education Project. His research spans Internet of Things, intelligent systems, and AI, and he has published widely while fostering collaborations across Africa and globally. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you. Salam.
Could you give us a brief introduction to your lab?
The Responsible Artificial Intelligence Lab, RAIL as we call it, is a multidisciplinary lab with a focus on leveraging on artificial intelligence for the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. The focus areas are one, AI in agriculture. We also do research in AI in health. We also look at AI in energy. And then we are also interested in education. And so we try to build capacity as far as AI in education is concerned. One of the things also that we do is that we ensure that no one is left behind as far as deploying AI solutions is concerned. And to that end, we also try to develop solutions for persons with disability. Through it all, as a responsible AI lab, what we try also to do is to ensure that for every one of the solutions that we are developing, we are looking at the principles of responsible AI and are abiding by any of those. And so basically that is what we do at RAIL.
So you're working across many dimensions.
Exactly.
And before RAIL was established, what was the research and innovation, AI research and innovation space like in Ghana?
Okay. So before RAIL, you actually couldn't pinpoint any specific lab that you could say this is a go-to place as far as AI is concerned. But over the years, with the establishment of RAIL, now there is a focal point as far as AI research in Ghana is concerned. And we've done extensive work with sector ministries like the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. And when government wants something done, they come to us as a result of the establishment of the lab. Additionally, when it comes to people who want to do cutting-edge research in AI, we have become the place that they want to come to and collaborate with as far as AI research is concerned.
So it sounds like you've established both a knowledge hub
Yes.
and also a center where policymakers and those who want to act on the emerging technologies can connect with.
Exactly.
And could you share a success story that illustrates this effort and how you've been able to change folks' lives beyond the research that you do and the policy impact that you have? How has your impact transpired in the communities you work with?
Okay, so I'm going to pick it from different angles. So there is normally the saying that charity begins at home. So we want to look at what impact have we been able to make as far as KNUST is concerned. And so what we have managed to do is that now everybody is speaking AI as far as KNUST is concerned, right from the Vice Chancellor to, the man who was on the street at KNUST. Everybody knows, about AI. And to that end, normally we have topical issues that we normally will reflect on by way of a summer school for the university. As a result of RAIL's involvement, this year, for instance, the summer school for the university is AI in education. And we are reflecting on how do we integrate AI effectively in the way we do things as far as the university's life is concerned. Additionally, RAIL has been instrumental in developing an AI strategy for the university. And then also through RAIL's involvement, now the university has mounted a 2-credit-hour online course on fundamentals of responsible AI, which is compulsory for every student. It's staggered across a number of modules, and then you pick the modules, and once you are able to complete it, you get the credit. And so what it means is that anyone who passes through the walls of KNUST gets to appreciate what responsible AI is about, because it is a course that we have mounted. So that is some of the things that we are doing as far as the university's life is concerned. Additionally, when it comes to research, also we are doing extensively when it comes to training PhDs, MPhils, and then people we call interns who are between bachelors and then starting their postgraduates. And so those are things that we are doing as far as KNUST is concerned. Now coming to the national level, RAIL has been very instrumental in the review and adoption of the national AI strategy. And so, working with the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, we've gotten to the point where it's only left with cabinet approval. And so, the minister is going to put a cover letter on the document that has been developed for adoption by cabinet. And then, through RAIL's involvement, Ghana will have an AI strategy. Beyond the strategy, there is implementation. And when it comes to implementation, also, RAIL is playing a very key role as far as the implementation of the national AI strategy is concerned. We've been involved in making AI a buzzword as far as the key sectors of the Ghanaian economy is concerned. Recently, we organized a ministerial boot camp for cabinet ministers and other ministers, and then their focal persons, where we actually expose them to the power of AI and what it's able to do as far as national development is concerned. So I've talked about KNUST, I've talked about the nation. Globally, also recently at the Science, Technology and Innovation Forum organized by the United Nations, RAIL represented Africa with reference to what we can do within the AI space as far as our life as a continent is concerned. And we also were involved in the continental AI strategy as an expert and a resource person also. So in a nutshell, we are doing our bit as far as making the world a better place is concerned.
That is an understatement. You're doing quite a lot. So you have been working within the campus walls at a national level, and also amplifying Africa's voice on the global stage. And how do you collaborate with external partners to achieve the vision that you have set out?
Okay, so what we realize is that, I mean, no man is an island. It is important that we work closely together. And so within the AI4D network, there are about now 13 labs. And what we do is to try to collaborate with all of them. When it comes to the solutions that we are developing, we have collaborated. So for instance, when it comes to development of AI solutions in the area of agriculture, we try to collaborate with our colleagues in Senegal. When it comes to the disability solutions that we are developing, we try to collaborate with our colleagues in Rwanda. We also have a satellite lab in Cape Verde that we work with. I mean, in the health space also, we try to collaborate with domain experts. We try to work with doctors. And in the disability solutions also, we work with people who are in the disability space. And so locally, we work with other researchers and then domain experts in the area. And then globally also, we leverage on the relationship we have with other labs to be able to work closely together. Beyond the labs also, we have collaborators by way of universities that we have strong relationships with, and we work with them both in the continent and then outside the continent. And we've had some good successes with reference to building relationships globally.
And I can imagine that the AI4D partners network that you're meeting here in Cape Town is also going to facilitate even more collaboration.
Oh, fantastic. So basically what I keep saying is that when you meet people, I mean, you start as acquaintances, but eventually they become like family. There are people in this meeting that I can say that they are more than academic collaborators. They become like family. If they are coming to Ghana, they are coming home. And next week, for instance, we are organizing a Pan-African AI conference, and I have some of these people I call family, like my colleague who is leading the Burkina Faso lab, Tega, and I have my friend in Uganda, Joyce, all as keynote persons as far as the conference is concerned. So it basically borders on growing closer relationships that we can work on to move the needle as far as AI in Africa is concerned.
We've had wonderful conversations with both Tega and Joyce, and we can imagine that there's a lot of overlap in the work that you're doing as well. And why did you start training elementary and secondary students, particularly girls in coding? And what kind of impact have you seen in working with young people?
If I want to single out one of the initiatives that has transformed my own life as a person, that is one of them. And it basically borders on securing the future. If you look at what will really move the needle as far as AI is concerned, one of the key enablers that the UN has rolled out in its report is building talent. But with reference to building talent and securing the future, it's important that we don't limit ourselves only to people in the universities. The median age for Africa is 19. What that means is that the opportunities abound. But then it's important that we are intentionally taking steps to build capacity. And what we realize is that if we limit ourselves just to the universities, by the time that they come to the universities, we don't have enough time to work with them. But going down to the senior high schools, what then it means is that we are able to give them the right orientation. They start their coding early, and then by the time they get to the universities, they are properly oriented and are able to make meaningful time use of the time that they have. And so we currently have about 22 schools cutting across the country where we have AI and robotics clubs. And basically what we do is to give them mentorship as far as their coding is concerned. We give them tools like Lego tools and stuff for them to be able to code and see how the theory translates to practice. And we are not limiting ourselves only to even the senior high schools. There are instances where we even go to the basic level. And the reality is that in other jurisdictions, they are even saying that even as children as early as the kindergarten, we need to find a way of making them, appreciate technology. And so in our thinking, we need to catch them young. And so that is basically what we are trying to do. And why she codes? I am an advocate of girls, and I recognize that where girls are given an opportunity, they top their class. Working in the university, I have seen girls who dare to enter the engineering class. At the end of the day, they become the valedictorians. And so what that means is that you need to give a lot of them the opportunity. And so the She Codes directs towards making sure that where there are girls who have an interest in coding, on Saturdays, we work with them to sharpen their coding skills. And the results have been phenomenal. It's been fantastic. And I am driven by that. It's a passion that I have. Seeing them excited by technology is what keeps me awake.
It's wonderful to hear that you're thinking about this across generations and also trying to make sure that everyone is included. And looking ahead, how do you see your lab contributing to the broader African AI ecosystem?
So a couple of things. I mentioned the key enablers as far as AI is concerned. So one, when it comes to talent, one of the things that we want to do is build capacity as far as raw talent is concerned, but not just building capacity, but retaining capacity. So in November, the first cohort of PhD students that we recruited into the lab are graduating, and they've done some fantastic work, published in some of the finest journals, Nature and all that you can think about. But beyond that, what we have also done is to find a way of retaining them by enrolling some of them as postdoctoral people within the lab. And then some also have just gotten faculty positions. For those who are currently postdoctoral positions in the lab, we are prepping them as far as joining faculty is concerned. And so not only are we building capacity, but we are trying to retain capacity also. What other thing we are also doing is making sure that for Africans in the diaspora who have a willingness to come back to the continent and actually work with us, we are creating a pipeline through which they can come and spend some months with us, where they spend time with those who are in the lab to share their very good experience and build capacity in that regard as well. So in terms of talent, that is what we are doing by way of policy and advocacy. Through the AI strategy and then implementation, what we are saying is that we don't need to just localize it. It must be national and it must be continental. And what we do is to become a strong voice with reference to implementation of strategies. So through this medium, I want to communicate to all the people who are so much into getting countries to draft strategy, that strategies are just pieces of paper. What actually moves the needle and transforms societies is this implementation and making budgetary allocation towards it. You can't always depend on donor partners with reference to funding these things. Consciously, we need to make budgetary allocation year in, year out with reference to the steps that we want to take as far as implementing our AI strategies are concerned. So don't just draft the strategy, have an implementation plan, and then have a budget, and then let's see actionable results that we all can be proud of. Otherwise, talk is cheap. You can't just keep talking about stuff and not do much. So I've talked about talent, I've talked about what we are doing within the policy space. But one other thing also has to do with making sure that we are using the resources that are available to us to create compute capacity. And so we'll push with reference to all the actors that we are working with to create an enabling environment for people who need compute to be able to use the resources that are available to us. And then finally, data sets, gathering them and being intentional about them and seeing how we can leverage on what we are all gathering into a repository to be able to develop solutions to move the continent.
It's wonderful to hear that even beyond academia, you're thinking of like applicability and making sure that you have both the monetary and non-monetary resources to make that come true. So this is our tough question of the day and the last one.
Okay.
In one sentence, why is responsible AI development essential for Africa's future?
The reality is that no one is waiting for us. And so it is important that we are intentional about transforming lives and I am happy that you talked about responsible AI and not just AI. And that means that we don't leave anybody behind. And so in responsible AI development, we want to be sure that rich or poor, whether able or disabled, everybody is benefiting from the rollout of technology. And so basically all that I can say is that it is a bright future that is ahead of us, but it is in our hands, and how we deal with it primarily depends on the steps that we take now.
And we're grateful that your lab is there to guide us along the way. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jerry.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the AI for Local Impact podcast, which is brought to you by the Global Center on AI Governance for the AI for D program. To learn more about this project and the larger program, please visit ai4d.ai. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, share this episode, and join us next time as we continue to explore how AI is shaping development across the Global South.